My name's Philip Moore. I grew up in Hampton, Virginia. I come from a long line of physicians, actually. Both my grandfathers were doctors. My father's father was a small family doctor in Beaufort, North Carolina. My mother's father was a general surgeon in Minnesota, and my father was a pulmonary doctor. My father encouraged me not to go into medicine. He actually told me that he wasn't sure it was worth it anymore. As he was aging out in his career, he was feeling the pressure of all the things that HMOs and insurance companies were putting on him, and he told me that unless you really loved it, you shouldn't go into it for any other reason. It was becoming a profession that was more and more difficult to work in. And so I always thought I'd go into business. My mother owned her own small company, and I saw her go to work and do her thing, and I just thought that was the best. So I went to college at Wake Forest thinking that I was going to be a business major. And I realized pretty quickly that wasn't something that I wanted to do. And so I looked back towards medicine, and eventually I started volunteering at the hospital here and realized that I think that was what I wanted to do. And so I pursued that. I eventually went on to medical school at Wake Forest, and that's when I fell in love with surgery. I wasn't sure what part of medicine would really excite me, but eventually I realized that I enjoyed surgery. Surgery gives you the opportunity to take care of somebody and fix them in one setting, generally. You don't always have to start a medicine or do something and then wait months to see if it works, but you get to do something to them that absolutely has results right then, and that sort of fit my personality. And so I went on to do my surgical training here in Winston-Salem as well. And when it came down to figuring out what kind of surgeon I wanted to be, I came really close to being a pediatric surgeon. I adore children, but it was difficult for me to see children hurt, and I just didn't want to do that every day. Several of my mentors came along during my residency and eventually steered me towards vascular surgery, which is what I do now. And I love it. It gives me the opportunity to work in an operating room, in an office setting, in an angio suite, in a vein clinic. I have a very broad practice, and no day is ever the same. And that's kind of how I got to where I am today. I think all physicians know how to take care of patients. We've all gone to medical school. We've all done residencies and fellowships, and we all know physiology and pharmacology. Quality care to me is having a physician that really cares about you. And I don't just mean cares whether or not you get better, but also, looks into whether or not you understand what's really going on, and you understand what treatments we're doing to you and why we're doing it, and then how you can expect it to affect your life. Not just each time I come to the doctor's office, but how is this going to affect your life at home? How is it going to affect your family's life? What can you expect in the future? I don't think that people always understand that their medical care can encompass all of that. And to me, I think quality care is having a physician and a physician's office full of staff and nurses that honestly take an interest in them. I really feel like it's important for people when they come to talk about what's bothering them that they feel comfortable. I want to provide them an environment for them to discuss their problems, for them to learn about what their problems are, what we can do to help them, and then really make them understand that they have problems that can be fixed and that we can help them do it. This is one of the finest places I've ever worked. Everybody here has a smile on their face, and I truly feel like everybody here cares about not only ourselves and everyone else that works here, but everybody else that comes through our door, the patients and their families. I absolutely look forward to coming to work every day, and I think that sets us apart. I think there are lots of people who can help people get better from whatever their vascular problem is. There are a lot of smart doctors in the world. And I like to think I'm one of them. I think the thing that's different about me is that I actually sit down and take the time to get to know my patients. I really enjoy coming to work and meeting new people and helping them understand what their problem is and help them understand that it's all right and that we're here to help them. It's a privilege for people to come and ask me to help them. It's a privilege for them to ask me to perform invasive procedures on them. And I really take that to heart. And I want my patients to know that I honestly care about them and their families and how things turn out for them, and want to know how they do in the future. And I think that's something that maybe sets me apart a little bit from others.